Hey nerds, I've been doing some laptop shopping and there's this awesome brand known as Huawei Matebook that I've been looking about, but I'm really concerned whether you should buy Huawei. And if you don't know, it's because of all of the noise over what's going on with Huawei. I'm not an expert in this, but I did bring in somebody who's done a lot of reporting on it. Juliet Beauchamp from our sister channel, IDG TECHtalk, is going to bring us up to date about what all the consternation is over Huawei.
Yeah, thanks, Gordon. So what exactly is going on here is a few weeks ago, the US government essentially banned US businesses from any transactions with Huawei. And that, it's really important to note. I know you're shopping for a new laptop. It's not about their laptops. It's not about their phones. It's about their network infrastructure that's going to be important when building 5G.
So wait, you're saying the laptops and phones are not automatically recording everything and spying on me? This is because, I've heard a lot. I heard my aunt talking about it at Thanksgiving. Not I'm making that up. A lot of people are saying, oh, they're spying on me. This hardware spying on me. That's not really what the allegations are at this point?
Nope, phones, laptops, that's not what this is all about. This is about the huge word here is alleged security risk that Huawei is putting backdoors in its 5G infrastructure that can be used to spy on people. So that's what's going on, and as a result, US businesses cannot have any sort of transactions with them, and that, think Google, Facebook, but also think Intel, think Qualcomm. Huge, it's really affecting the Huawei supply chain. But what's also important here is that Huawei was granted a 90-day reprieve by the US Department of Commerce. That's going to go into about August, so we have a few more months for Huawei to sort itself out and the US government to sort itself out. And at the end of the day, this ban may never happen. So let's focus more about your laptop. What are you concerned about here?
Well, I think the main concern, which I think we do have some clarification from Microsoft, is I'm not going to get security updates. If I can't get security updates in Windows 10 because Huawei's been put into a little pen by the US government, Huawei laptops, Huawei phones, and I can't get those security updates, I'm going to be at risk.
Yeah, and at first glance, that's a pretty valid concern. It was something that I thought about immediately because already Google had to pull Android security updates from future Huawei phones, but now Google kind of wants to fight back. It's saying it's a huge security risk to not be able to issue those updates. In response, Huawei's probably going to make their own OS, but like you said, Microsoft is probably still going to be able to continue to push out Windows updates, and frankly, it's possible that Google will still be able to push out Android updates, or Huawei will just make its own OS.
Yeah, and I do want to point out, we did get a statement from Microsoft yesterday where they essentially said, we make great products, we support excellent products, and we will, upon initial examination of the Department of Commerce orders, be able to still support consumers with Windows updates. The one thing that does bug me a little bit there is, what does that mean, initial update? Right? Do you have any feeling that, like I've read everywhere, this feels like I can't even get a straight story. Are you going to be able to get an Android phone with updates? I think you can get it with laptops, but I'm concerned about all the misinformation out there.
Absolutely, and that's completely a valid concern. There is a lot of information floating out there, and on top of that, it really seems like everything regarding this ban is changing daily, if not weekly. There's extensions granted. Companies are still going to be able to push out security updates. Chip makers are still maybe going to certainly want to still work with Huawei. There's a lot going on, and I think what's especially interesting is that Microsoft recently pushed out their Huawei laptops onto their online store, right?
Yeah, they disappeared off of the Microsoft store. They're actually back there now, and I guess if Microsoft is, everybody's like, oh, look, you can buy Huawei laptops again, and Microsoft's saying, look, we got these laptops in inventory, we're going to sell them. I was looking at Amazon this morning. You still have a lot of Matebooks on Amazon. You can buy them. So they're just sort of back in the store because we're selling what we have. It's not really clear from what Microsoft said. It's not clear they're going to be selling them going forward because there's rumors of a new Huawei laptop coming that they basically said, you know what, we don't know if we can get chips for these things, so we're not going to really announce these. Just a lot of that sort of discomfort, I think.
Yeah, and I think that sort of discomfort is warranted right now, but what is important for anyone who's looking to buy a Huawei product, it's important for them to keep in mind that if you want to be a risk taker and you want to buy a Huawei product, go for it. As it stands now, it seems like you'll still get security updates, but the issue here is that it could change at any second. So I don't know what your thoughts are, Gordon. I don't know how this is going to affect your decision making, how you think anyone else is going to, what sort of thought process they're going to now take when buying a Huawei machine.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I think knowing the way Windows and the PC world has always kind of worked, it's fairly generic. I've never seen hardware not get denied updates, except obviously if you haven't paid for it. But if you've paid for Windows, you've almost universally always gotten updates. No matter who you are, no matter where you are in the world or in space, you get those updates. I don't really, the scary thing to me is if they say we're not legally allowed to allow updates to go to these laptops in a few weeks, or you're saying in August, that makes me a little concerned. But then it feels like if it's a really good deal, a lot of people are like, well, this might actually cause medical conditions, but it's on sale. Well, then, okay, I might just buy this anyway. So that's how a lot of people think. And depending on how the prices are on these laptops, what the features are, if the sale's good enough, what the hell? Roll the dice, right?
I think I'm with you. I say if the sale's good enough, if you're willing to take the risk, I say go for it. I think it's going to be much more difficult than I think probably the US government would like to actually stop these major, huge tech companies from rolling out updates. It's not going to be as simple as them saying you can't do that anymore. Okay.
Now, you did mention this is over 5G. It is not a concern over the laptops or the phones spying on you necessarily, but are we going to see this solved anytime soon? Is this going to grind on for years and you'll be wondering whether the updates will be cut out from under your legs, or are we going to see a light at the end of this tunnel? Or is that a train?
That's a great question. Yeah, so what's important to remember is that the US and China are, as I'm sure you and everyone knows, are in the middle of a pretty heated trade war. So it's possible that the President of the United States, President Trump, is going to use this as a bargaining chip in this trade war and say, you know what, if you give me this, I won't have a ban on Huawei anymore. People don't love that because the whole reason that this ban is in place in the first place is because of security. But President Trump and President Xi Jinping of China are going to meet at the G20 summit in a few weeks. I believe it's actually in a week, where it's expected that there are going to be some sort of trade talks. So I think the next update that we're going to hear about the Huawei ban will be next week during the G20 summit.
Okay. Well, I think probably I'll continue to shop for laptops. In the meantime, maybe we'll get an update if there's any information, if they've decided to stop playing badminton with Huawei next week, right? We'll give you an update here, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Cool. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for clearing up at least some of the misconceptions that are out there, Juliet Beauchamp. Again, check it out, IDG TECHtalk, over there somewhere. Click over there.